If anyone had told me a year ago that buying my dream car would plunge me into a suburban nightmare, I'd have laughed it off. My name is Marcus Bennett, a 52-year-old software engineer, and this is the story of how a gleaming blue electric sedan sparked a war with the most ruthless HOA president in Maplewood-Lanier battle that ended with her behind bars, and our neighborhood forever changed. It all began on a crisp autumn morning in Maplewood Lane, a tidy upscale community in suburban Ohio where every lawn is manicured and HOA fees rival a car payment. I just pulled into my driveway at 312 Oakwood Drive in my brand new electric sedan, a sleek beauty I'd saved 4 years to buy. The car was my pride, a symbol of late nights, coding, and sacrifices made to climb the ladder. As I admired its curves glinting in the sunlight, I heard the unmistakable tap of heels on asphalt. Enter Vivian Caldwell, the iron-fisted queen of the Maplewood Lane HOA. Vivian was in her late 50s, with platinum hair frozen in place and a navy blazer that screamed money. Her smile was all teeth, but her eyes sized me up like I was a stray dog. "Good morning," she purred, extending a manicured hand. "I'm Vivian Caldwell, HOA president. I don't believe we've met." I shook her hand, introducing myself as Marcus, the new guy who'd moved in a month ago. Her gaze flicked to my car, and her lips tightened. "That's quite the vehicle," she said, her tone dripping with judgment. "Maplewood Lane has standards, you know. We can't have just any car cluttering our streets." The nerve of it floored me. Here I was, a homeowner who'd paid cash for a $250,000 house, being lectured by someone who probably hadn't worked a day in years. I kept my cool, years of corporate life teaching me to pick my battles. "It's my driveway, and it's a legal vehicle," I said evenly. Vivian's smile sharpened. "Oh, there are rules, Marcus. And I enforce them." She whipped out her phone, snapping photos of my car, my house, and believe it or not me, standing on my property. When I asked what she was doing, she chirped, documenting violations. "That car is too flashy, and your lawn is a 1/4 inch too long." My lawn, mowed 2 days prior, was pristine. This woman was unhinged. I pointed out that the HOA covenant's one-eyed red cover to cover said nothing about car models or lawn micrometrics. Vivian laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "The covenants are suggestions. I decide what's acceptable." The racism wasn't subtle. A black man with a nice car and a big house didn't fit her vision of Maplewood Lane. I walked away, her parting shot ringing in my ears. "I'll be watching you, Marcus." 2 days later, a certified letter arrived. Vivian's signature scrawled across it like a war cry. It listed 19 violations, from disruptive vehicle display to landscaping nonconformity to my favorite, disturbing neighborhood harmony. The fines totaled $1,400, due in 30 days. I called the HOA office, expecting a clerical error, but Vivian answered. "No mistake," she said sweetly. "Pay by the 15th. The line went dead. Her harassment escalated. She drove by my house daily, camera flashing. She parked across the street, taking notes like a private eye. Neighbors started whispering. Mrs. Clara Thompson, a kind widow who'd brought me brownies when I moved in, came by one evening, wringing her hands. "Vivian's been asking about your schedule, your guests, even your finances," she said. "She's saying you might not belong here." The implication was clear. A black man couldn't possibly afford this life legitimately. Then came the kicker. Clara said Vivian suggested my car might be stolen. Vivian filed city complaints about my illegal parking in my driveway and noise violations. I barely played music. Each required me to take time off work to prove my innocence. But the real blow came 3 weeks in. One morning, my car wouldn't start. Under the hood, critical wires had been cut with precision. Repairs cost $900 and took a week. That same day, another violation notice arrived, citing a non-functional vehicle. Vivian knew my car had been sabotaged. She was taunting me. I'd had enough. Vivian thought I'd cave, but she'd underestimated me. I filed a public records request for 5 years of HOA records. What I found was a goldmine of corruption. Vivian had issued over 500 violation notices, 85% targeting non-white or less desirable homeowners. Financial records showed HOA fees from 140 homes vanishing, while Vivian flaunted a new SUV and a remodeled kitchen. Most damning, every homeowner hit with multiple violations had sold their home at a loss purchased by Caldwell Properties LLC, owned by Vivian herself. She wasn't just a tyrant. She was running a racket to force out residents and flip their homes for profit. I hired Laura Mitchell, a civil rights lawyer with a knack for dismantling HOA bullies. After reviewing my evidence, she grinned. "Marcus, this is fraud, conspiracy, and civil rights violations. We're going to bury her. But first, I wanted to confront her publicly." The next HOA meeting was my chance. The meeting, held in the stuffy Maplewood Community Center, buzzed with tension. Vivian presided over a folding table, flanked by 4 nervous board members. I arrived with a briefcase of documents. When Vivian tried to close the meeting, I stood. As a homeowner, I have the right to speak. Her face twisted, but she couldn't stop me. I laid it all bare: the harassment, the racist violation patterns, the shady property deals. Gasps filled the room as I held up bank statements and property records. Vivian screamed, "This is slander," but the evidence was ironclad. Neighbors began whispering, phones lighting up with texts. The police took my documents that night, launching an investigation. Word spread fast. Neighbors called, sharing their own Vivian horror stories. Clara had been fined $400 for her heirloom rose bushes. Javier Morales was cited for ethnic plants after planting cacti. Emily Harper, a nurse, faced violations for her night shift schedule. The FBI soon took over, uncovering Vivian's ties to a multi-state HOA fraud ring. She'd targeted rising neighborhoods, infiltrated their HOAs, and harassed residents into selling cheap a gentrification scheme worth millions. Vivian's desperation peaked one Tuesday morning. I caught her trying to unlock my car with a key fob she'd had made illegally, claiming it was HOA property. Neighbors recorded as she shrieked, "I'm the president. I decide what happens here." When her key failed me, car's security system required programming, she realized she'd confessed to attempted theft on camera. "This isn't over," she spat, storming off. But it was. The next day, FBI agents reviewed my footage. She admitted to felonies, Agent Rachel Carter said. That afternoon, police arrested Vivian in her front yard, her designer heels sinking into the grass as she tried to flee. Charges included mail fraud, wire fraud, attempted grand theft, conspiracy, civil rights violations, and embezzlement of $250,000 in HOA funds. Her mugshot, mascara-streaked, dominated local news. The FBI revealed her scheme had defrauded homeowners across 10 states, costing $40 million. Moving into Vivian's seized home, bought at auction for a steal, was surreal. The beige decor screamed control, but a hidden safe in the closet revealed the real Vivian. Her name was Lorraine Baxter, born in rural Indiana to a factory worker and a seamstress. She'd reinvented herself as Vivian to escape poverty, her HOA scam a twisted bid to maintain the facade. Her journals exposed raw racism and paranoia, admitting she targeted me because my honest success exposed her lies. The FBI used these to add identity fraud charges, extending her sentence to 14 years. Maplewood Lane transformed without Vivian. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a city oversight board. Illegitimate fines were refunded, and the neighborhood bloomed. Javier's cacti garden became a community highlight. Emily started a first aid class. Property values soared, but the real win was the community spirit block parties, kids playing, no fear of citations. My nonprofit, the Maplewood Justice Fund, now helps homeowners nationwide fight HOA abuse, handling cases from Arizona to Maine. Vivian's prison life was poetic justice. At Federal Correctional Institute Pineview, she shared a cell with a woman who'd lost her home to a similar scheme. Assigned to laundry duty, she faced strict rules from a supervisor who brooked no nonsense. Clara's monthly letters, detailing our vibrant neighborhood, tormented her. Her name became a case study in law schools, and Ohio passed the Lorraine Baxter Prevention Act to curb HOA abuse. She'd never escape her legacy. 2 years in, Vivian requested a video call through a restorative justice program. The woman on screen was a shadow of her former self-gray roots, prison orange, eyes heavy with regret. "I'm sorry," she said. "You exposed what I couldn't face." I didn't forgive her, but I no longer hated her. Her crimes had sparked a movement. The Maplewood Justice Fund grew nationally, and I received the Citizens Medal for Civil Rights in D.C., with Clara cheering from the crowd. Today, my blue sedan sits in the driveway of Vivian's former home, A reminder that standing up to bullies can change everything. Maplewood Lane is now a true community, and I'm still Marcus, still coding, still driving my car, but also the guy who proved one man with evidence can topple a corrupt empire. Vivian remains in prison, release set for 2033. Justice was served, and our neighborhood thrives. What do you think about this story? Have you faced bullies or injustice in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Did Marcus do the right thing? How far would you go to fight back? Let's debate.